Satnam, good morning. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you, and happy new moon in Libra. The new moon in Libra sits between a square to Pluto and Saturn. So Pluto is karma. It is things that we brought in from another life. It's things that we have to handle in this life. And Saturn is structures and rules and foundations. It's discipline, and it is the big teacher in the sky. And the new moon is squaring this, which means a square is like it either brings out the best in you or the worst. It's like coming to a four-way stop where there's no stop signs and you have to work well with others to get through it. The new moon is also opposing Mars, and Mars is in Aries, so we're still getting a lot of friction around our ego getting in alignment with our heart. So it's not exactly a happy place, Usually new moon's like, yay, but it is a happy place because even though, these are some tough transits that this week that you went through and some next week. We're in some bumpy cosmic skies through the middle of November, but you can see what's going on in our world. And we have a mini reflection of that in our personal lives, in that there have been things that just don't work, that are being torn apart. And if we can hold a space where we're like, we can breathe into and see, oh, Divine Ma is redirecting me. Oh, yes, this might be a better decision. What can happen, and we're kind of to the end of this, but it'll go on till next week. And that's because we're in the final degrees of this Black Moon Lilith in Aries, and that is fears being triggered. And the fears can be triggered like an old job wants you back, an old ex wants you back, an old thought pattern starts coming back. And it can be tempting to say, okay, I'm just going to do that because that's comfortable. I'm just going to go there and do that. Because part of what we're doing right here in this inner and outer goal, we have built a lot. We have moved forward, but we're kind of in this neutral zone where a new phase is being put together. So we're not there yet, but we're not where we were before we started this journey. And so the temptation is to do something to feel better, because when we're changing, the one thing that is constant in life is change, and human beings tend to not like change. And when you signed up for the Modern Priestess, you pretty much signed up to change. Breathe, love yourself, look yourself in the mirror and say, I've got you. Don't give up on this new reality you're creating. This new moon is serious about transformation. It wants us to make transformation. And because it's Libra, it wants justice. It wants to seek the justice in obstacles, conflicts, contentions. It wants to work through this. This new moon is more about reading the room, reading the climate of your life, and not barreling through with, your opinion and shouting it to the world. More, it's like knowing your opinion, knowing what you're creating with this inner and outer goal, looking at the environment in which it lands and paying attention. With Mercury and Mars still very much retrograde, this new moon is not an invitation to change directions, right? You are on this Modern Priestess journey. You are after this inner and outer goal. Now is not the time to change directions. However, it is very helpful for uprooting any power dynamics or confronting authority issues, or working through the many ways of unprocessed anger that obstructs our paths. And so Libra, ultimately, because it wants balance and justice, it can point out to you that you still need certain boundaries, maybe with yourself. You need to set a boundary. Hey, I don't feel good unless I have a good breakfast and a morning walk before I dive into work. Or I need to send a boundary of how much I talk to that person because they're kind of a Debbie Downer. These are the kind of things that you're going to do. And it may be a boundary that only you know you set. This new moon is very inward. It is recalibrating and creating the gift from inside. And you hold true to that for now. So our love journal, our assignment today is simply this. I hope you are, I know you are. Keep listening to your love note 3 times a day. So in Kundalini, there is this premise that the sound of your own voice is the most healing. So normally we hear our own voice in our head, and oftentimes it is saying the types of things that our mother did, only now it's in our voice and probably even meaner with a harsher tone. So that's how we hear ourselves. So when we do this work, we start to hear how other people hear us. We start to hear a re-amplified, healed way of talking to ourselves. And we start to use our voice current as one of the most powerful medicines in upgrading our life, in letting old stories go, and stepping into a new elevated destiny. So we want to keep listening to that recording 3 times a day. And like I said, you don't have to, for the 3 times you're listening, it doesn't have to be like you sit there. You know, you could play it in the car, you can play it while you wash your dishes, you can play it while you're in the bathtub. And sometimes you're going to like hearing it. Sometimes you're going to get on your nerves. Sometimes you're going to notice inflections in your voice where you can tell you didn't really believe it completely. That's okay, because we're going to redo this towards the end. But it's good. This is a good way to energetically really get to know yourself. And then you become the optimum best healer of you because you are knowing yourself on an even deeper level. So today, I want you to write in your love journal, how has reading and listening to your love note changed or strengthened your beliefs around your inner and outer goal? All right. How has listening and reading your love note changed or strengthened your beliefs around your inner and outer goal? Affirmation. I love me and I love me, and my love vibration is creating a whole new world. Let's say it together. I love me and my love vibration is creating a whole new world. I love me and my love vibration is creating a whole new world. Woohoo! I love you. Happy new moon. I'll see you on Zoom tomorrow, 1 p.m. And tomorrow, Saturday. And that's it. I love you. Enjoy this day. Have really strong awareness and stay elevated in love. Be kind to yourself when you get afraid or mean. And dig in there and see what attention you need and redirect it towards the highest. I love you. Have the best day.